People always ask me how this happened. What made it spread? What made it grow? People ask, how do I start something big? I usually smile and tell them I don't know. Because To Write Love on Her Arms started about as small as something could. It was a story and an attempt to help one person. It was a MySpace page. It was a box of t-shirts, and one of those shirts ended up on stage at a Switchfoot show in South Florida on March 30th, 2006. We never could have guessed what it all would lead to.
Now, our Friday Making a Difference report. Growing up can be tough, and too many young people are struggling with depression, addiction, even thoughts of suicide. And perhaps the biggest obstacle, the feeling of being in it all alone.
Tworkowski started an organization, To Write Love on Her Arms. Funded mainly through the sale of t-shirts, the group's MySpace, Facebook, and Twitter responses number in the hundreds of thousands.
Somewhere in the equation of helping young people in despair is not just getting them the information, but telling them in some way, I hear you, I see you, yeah, I'm with you.
I think hopefully there's an element of caring for this person, that they feel heard. I think we never know what can save a life, but I think it's important that we go there and that we try.
Renee's story was told in a way that was honest, and I suppose it gave people permission to be honest about their story, about their struggles, their questions, and their pain. A common thread began to emerge. It was people saying, this is something no one knows. This is something I've never said out loud. And so there was this feeling that people were taking a step forward, and for a lot of people it was the very first step. Folks began to realize that they were not alone. Other people were dealing with the same things they were. Someone else had been where they were. Someone else was there right now. To Write Love on Her Arms became something like a bridge. The goal was to move people from a place of shame and isolation to community, and from hopelessness to hope. More than anything, the goal was for people to get the help they needed and deserved. And so ever since then, we've been pointing to professional help. We've given $1.6 million to it. We point to counseling, treatment centers, crisis hotlines, and support groups. We've learned that 2 out of 3 people who struggle with depression, they never get help for it. It's because of stigma. People feel like they can't talk about this stuff. We feel ashamed and feel alone. We're afraid of being misunderstood. We're afraid of being labeled and judged. But over the last 10 years, we've seen thousands of lives begin to change. We hear from folks who are sitting across from a counselor for the first time, and people stepping into treatment, or someone who, in a desperate moment, they sent a text to crisis text line or called 1-800-273-TALK. These are people literally choosing to stay alive. We've seen some incredible doors open, things we could not have even imagined.
The recipient of the $1 million grant is To Write Love on Her Arms.
And it's our belief that your story is sacred and it's priceless and it's entirely unique and no one else can play your part. It's our hope that you will never, ever give up.